In the bucket we have my glass balls and some ceramic tiles. Plus 10 litres of sugar plum wash. And next is all the vodka that I didn't keep to drink. Basically it's bits that are 25% or under alcohol. There's a few litres of it. My biggest issue that I'm going to have is, because I've got 10 litres of actual vodka strength vodka down there. Okay, it's strength for me, what I like to drink, which is 35%. I don't like it any stronger because it means I've got to add stuff like, you know, water or ice. I like to have something I can just drink as it is, which is why I like 35%. So that is that. That smells nice. So that is in there ready to go. The issue is that if it's too strong alcohol going in there, there's more chance of it going bang, as in combusting. All alcohol is combustible, but the higher the percentage, the more likelihood it is of happening. Okay, the biggest aroma I'm getting from this one, and that is it's too strong a flavour to drink as it is. I just put loads of stuff in there, left it for a month or two, and then drained off pretty much all the solids, and it left it to sit. Very difficult to do this one-handed. Yeah, I can't do that one-handed. So, oh well, imagine me pouring it. Okay, so that is now approximately 22 litres. Is it 22 litres? I think my brains are working. 10, 15, 16, 17. That's about 17 litres. This is meant to be a 23 litre still. I'm starting to have doubts on that. I mean, it might fill 23 litres if you fill it to the brim. I don't know. See, that's another 4.5 to 5 litre container. And next thing I'm going to do is measure the alcohol content, which is not going to be accurate because you've got temperature variation, but you've also got the consistency. Yeah, it's not going to read anything. Bollocks. It's not registering anything because of the density of the liquid. See if I can zoom in on that, because my eyesight is atrocious. Yeah, according to that, there's no alcohol in it. Basically, the reason it's reading bugger all is not because this doesn't work, it's because of the plum. Because the way these things work is on density of liquid. And so because of all the stuff in there, it's registering as too dense to have alcohol, basically. So I've got to guess it. I am quite good at guessing alcohol content for some reason. Even though I've only really been drinking alcohol only really since I hit my 50s. I've been drunk maybe half a dozen times in my entire life before then. Right. I am not adding that extra 5 litres. What I am going to do is I'm going to fill this up to this mark here with water. I'm just going to take out, I'm going to fill in the bath up with water. I'm just going to put a couple of buckets, maybe 2-3 litres in there, just to bring it up to this level, because I don't want to have 35% alcohol. It won't be, because the other two containers, the two main amounts I put in, would have been one at 35%, 5 litres, maybe 15% from the brewing bucket, and then 25 and less on the other. So we're talking an average of 25 to 30% alcohol. I still want to put more water in, just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to top it up a bit more with another 2 litres of water. Right, I keep doing the calculations. It's 10 litres from that, 5 litres from that, 15, 16, 17, 2 litres of water. That makes it roughly 19 to 20 litres at this point, where I put that tray in. So that's about 20 litres, I'm guessing. I mean, yes, if you fill it right to the brim, that would be 23 litres. But I wouldn't want to chance that. I don't know, when it comes to these things, just how much, get it, you kids, just how much you can pack in. It's not something I want to take the chance on having it pop. I mean, these just things look so weak. I mean, they did the job, they do the job. It's just, right. I'm not sure if that's how you meant to do it. I don't give a crap. That's how I'm doing it. Lid goes on. I'm not sure if the reason this thing's not working is because it isn't packed all the way up. I'm only filling it to about there. I think it's about here. Yeah, I'm filling it up liquid-wise to about here. Yeah, maybe that's the reason why this pressure gauge isn't actually doing anything. But I would have thought it would move, but it's not. So, lid on. I actually forgot to put on the rubber seal. Fortunately, I haven't switched it on yet, so don't forget your rubber, otherwise you might make beep. I've also got it turned around at this angle, because that way, yeah, the cable, that irritates me with the cable not being all the way in. Or done up tight. That should be done up tight, but it's not. Right, so basically when they put it together, they didn't do that up. And it's still not doing up. So something inside there is loose, basically. Not great, but I've turned it around, so I'm not putting any strain on this when I plug it in down there. Same with the immersion, which is in there. Right, water, I filled the bath. It's a standard size bath. In other words, too small for me, but like big ready. So that is now filled with cold water. And yeah, put it together again. Dun 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 dun. Ba, ba. Right, those four are on, the rubber's in, that's tightened up. I never know how far to tighten that. I just do it like finger tight. So that's done. Nothing else to do here really. That's all just shoved up as far as it's going to go. That pump's in there, ready to be switched on. I'll get the outflow pipe. Put that in somewhere. And of course it wants to stay down there. Oh, never mind. Rather interestingly, this pipe is at just the right height for a demijohn. So, I'm going to see if I can find it in the little jam jar rather than using the great big coffee pots because they're a pain in the ass to actually get a sniff out of. Yeah, for arcane. So, plug in time. I'm not going to plug in the circulation pump just yet. Is that going to reach? Yes, it is. Right, so I'm going to put it on full blast for a while. I'm going to give it about 10 minutes on full blast. There we go. Maybe not full blast. It just sounds too scary. We'll have it on about 40 to start with. Oh my baggy cat. Yeah, there should be a torch on this one. There we go. What does that say? Can't read it. 50. Shit. I'll leave it on 50. Poor fingerprints. I'll leave it on 50 for a while. And let that warm up a little bit. I mean, thinking about it, I should be able to do it higher than that. 60. Right, it's on about 60, 65. Yeah. It does worry me with this seal sticking out like this. But there's not a lot you can really do about it. Because it's such a thin seal. As long as it's actually mostly there. Okay, that's it. See how it goes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and the temperature on here is starting to go up. This is getting fairly hot. Not hot, but it's getting hot on the sides there. The main reason I'm taking it slower, bringing the temperature up, is just in case there's any leaks. So I'm keeping an eye out for any leaks around the edge, just in case, or on the spout here. Yeah, just to be on the safe side. Like the tap, just to be on the safe side. I mean, that tap, I really wish it was something a bit more, something less like you can just go tink and then have it all flood out boiling water. So it's at half an hour and that pipe is still cold, but this is starting to get hot. So now I'm going to turn it up to 70. Let's have a look. Is that 70? And my eyesight is so bad. Plus, I can't really kneel down because of my kneecap and the metalwork. Okay, so we are now at 70, 80. Right, it's now at 80 Celsius. And that should be the temperature to get booze. I've not put the pump on yet because I'm going to wait until I see something. Is that something coming out? Nope. That huge liquid from last time, still in there. Yeah, I'll wait until I see something coming down that pipe, steam or something, then I'll put on the immersion. I'm a cheap git. But that's going up pretty rapid now. As soon as it gets to the temperature where we've got booze coming out, I'm going to turn it right down. Well, okay, I'll turn it down to about 60. So it's all for me, it's a continuous learning curve. So yeah, tune in next time. After 5 minutes at 80 Celsius on the thermometer, this is now gone up to 42 degrees and it's getting nearly too hot to touch. Yeah, down there is too hot to touch. So what I've done, I've put the pump on, mainly to make sure it works, but also just in case. Nothing's coming out yet. I'm going to leave it on 80 Celsius. I mean, that little motor is not going to use that much electric. It's probably going to cost me more in water, my water bill. Nothing coming out yet. Because of how rapidly that was rising in temperature, I've turned it down to 70 Celsius. Oh, and we got liquid. Can't really smell much yet. I can hear liquid, I just can't see it. Hang on. Oh, it is. I just can't see it. It's steam coming out. Is that steam? No, it's just liquid. See, the first time I did this, day before yesterday, actually no, Saturday, there was steam coming out because I didn't have the pump on. So I timed that just about right, because that is now 76.2. Yep, that's definitely hot. Nice and cold. Do you need to pee? So I've no idea how much you actually take out. Or what I'm even supposed to be smelling. I don't know. It's all an experiment. But I've been making spirits in the air still for the past 2 or 3 years and I haven't gone blind yet. But this one, half of it is fruit based. Well, the bulk of it is sugar. But there is a fair bit of plum, apple, spearmint, wild garlic. Right, I'm going to change that glass over and have a taste. I don't care if it is the bad booze, that tastes really nice. I can really taste the orange. Because all that orange peel that's in there. It's still coming out. It's difficult to see sometimes. But yeah, that's a nice little flow. It seems to be hovering around 80-ish Celsius, which is kind of perfect because ethanol evaporation is 78 point something. So that's a good amount coming out. Right, that bit, the first part that came out, even though it tastes nice, is going in the bath. I can bathe in it. I'm just not going to drink it. Right, it's now on the go. I took out that much more, which actually tastes nice, but it smells a little bit iffy. So, in the bath. The alcohol is actually quite good for things like skin issues. You know, antiseptic, disinfectant kind of thing. Wow, it changed the water's colour. Yeah, I'm glad they done that. But that was probably the equivalent of 100 mil, maybe 100 mil. And a guess about 100 mil. And now it's drinkies time. Like I said, if I was working with just fruit or just grain, I'd be more cautious. A lot more cautious. But that's hovering at 81.3. So it's gone down a degree actually. 81.4. So that's a good temperature. I mean, yes, I could increase the temperature. As long as that stays cold, that's the main thing. As long as if I increase the temperature, it will come out faster. But I'm not in that big of a hurry. And my bath water is looking murky. Grr. That's from the spirits. But I'm hoping to fill this stomach up. And I want to see how it goes. Dink, dink, dink. And if anyone ever does watch this video, tell me if that is a good flow rate. Let me see if that's right. I mean, I'm guessing I've got about 20 litres in total in there. You have to bear in mind that it's at least 5 litres with 35%. There's some steam coming out somewhere. I need to investigate. I thought I just saw a whiff of steam. Could be in my imagination. But no, I don't see any steam. I'm constantly worried that there might be a leak somewhere. Because one little leak can turn into a big leak and go bang. So I'm constantly looking around the edges and around the joins. So that comes through fast when it heats up. Now, yeah, the temperature seems to be pretty good. I could try and increase the temperature and see if I don't want to increase the temperature too much and then have like steam coming out or losing it. Right, that's coming out tepid. Not even tepid really. It's not cold, it's not far off. So because it's coming out like that, I'm going to turn the temperature back up to 80 Celsius. So at 45 minutes from switching on, I've turned it back up to 80 Celsius. So that I'm expecting to go up. But as long as I've got liquid coming out of here and not steam, I'm not going to worry too much. As long as that water is not coming out hot, because before when I did this, it was coming out boiling hot water. I mean, having a bathtub filled with cold water should make a massive difference. Hopefully I won't have to worry about mopping up vodka from the floor. At 50 minutes, we're up to 82.6, 82.5, and this flow rate has increased. So that's coming out 50% faster? Not 100% faster actually. So that's increased the flow rate substantially. I can smell it in the air. If you can smell it in the air, that means it's not going into the bottle. So I'm reluctant to turn it up any higher. But yeah, I was worried it would shoot up really, really fast and start bubbling everywhere. This is where having that sight glass that I've ordered, it's going to make a massive difference. Not as much with the sugar wash, but we're using like fruit grains, there's more chance of it puking up and coming up the spout basically as a liquid instead of a gas. So that's going to be a nice little toy lamp. I think it worked out between 10 and 20 quid for the sight glass piece that's going to go there, and the tri-clamp thing. I did a fair bit of research on different combinations, but there was one where you can get both together, but they're reluctant to give you actual measurements of where you're actually measuring on the pipe, whether it's that bit of the pipe, that bit of the pipe, this bit of the pipe, and they give you a cross diagonal radius internal, which is a pain in the ass. But this, the one I'm getting, it seems a lot more clear. in the diagram with the measurements. So yeah, hopefully that's going to go there. Oh, that's getting a bit hot now. It can go there, and I can pack in all my copper mesh, you know, ginger cubes that I've got. And I was going to put in magnets because they can have a positive reaction with regard to drawing out negative impurities, but magnets, copper, alcohol vapor, boom. So yeah, that's filling up very quickly actually. Now that seems to be staying at 82.5. The water coming out is still cool. It's not warm, it's cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that temperature up to 85 degrees Celsius. Okay, so at 43, I am trying to keep this accurate. What does that say? 53. Focus, you piece of crap phone. Oh yeah, buy a phone. 53 minutes, I think it says. Anyway, it's about 53 minutes. I've turned it up to 85 Celsius, and that's starting to go up a little bit. I'm not going to be too concerned unless I feel or hear gurgling on that pipe, or I see steam coming out. But I do also have a little bit of copper in the bottom of here. Just my little bit of ginger cubes shoved in there. Just a little bit. It gives it a bit of resistance. But another thing that's going to give it resistance, if you give it resistance, that means it condenses and falls back down as vapour and it passes through itself and gives you a reflux. Now that metal lid in there will do the same job. So really I should have had that in there the first time round. But you know, I'm popping my distilling cherry.
Oh, lovely.
I can't say cherry without thinking about Porky's when he tried blackmailing the governor. What's his name? Trump? I can't just watch it all going in there without having a little taste. That is what's just come out. It's got a very interesting smell. It's citrus, but also a lot of other stuff. But then I put in that 5 litres at 35%, and that was a whole lot of botanicals. That's about 60% alcohol. Just added a bit of bath water. Yeah, that's very tingly. That's still, I'm guessing, yeah, I had to add quite a bit of water that time. I'm guessing it's coming out at over 90%. That's coming out at about 90% alcohol, I'm guessing, because of the amount of zinginess on my tongue. And that's too big to actually get any flavour out of it. But that's nice. My entire mouth has gone numb. That's quite nice. What I need to do is go and get my cat training toy, you know, the laser pointer, and that way I can see more easily if there is steam in the room. Yeah, there is a nice bit of flavour in that. That's a lot of flavour. Whilst I'm standing here a bit dizzy, all of this tubing is medical grade, food grade. So it means it shouldn't be affected by alcohol, in theory. Whereas your standard plastic tubing does get affected by it, it melts. And all plastic, oil-based things have toxic properties. The stronger the stuff, the stronger the thing is, the more it draws out the toxins. That's why you don't sell vodka in plastic bottles. And it just occurred to me that if it's coming out that strong, and let's face it, it was pretty strong when I went in. I'm guessing it was about at least 30%, about 20 litres, which means if it's coming out at 90%-ish, roughly, kind of, then that means I'm not going to get as much as I think. So what I might actually do, because the little measuring container they gave me is it's dinky little thing, but I want to take some into that as a sample and then dip it so I can see how strong it is coming out. This is where a parrot would be handy. So, 1 hour in.
That's what she said.
So I'm gonna. This is a tube they gave me. Now my dipstick thing will fit in there, but only just.
That's what she said.
So yeah, it's an hour and 2 minutes. We go. Pressure gauge is doing absolutely bugger all. But then that pressure gauge might not be for distilling. It might be for if you're doing a wash or what do they call it?
Anal.
When you're mash. That's what they call it. If you're doing a mash, because I'd imagine you could use this brewing bucket quite nicely for doing a mash. You can turn it up to full blast, you know, boil up your veg, and then just turn it right down for fermentation. So I'll let it collect a little bit more, and then I'll give that a go. I'm just curious. I like my nerd stuff. Okie dokie. That particular sample is reading. God, it never sits where you want it to, does it? Come on, keep going. Chakalaka. 60%. Just over 60, 62%. Oh yeah, if you're using a smaller container like this, then, and you've got a big dipstick thingy, only fill it halfway, otherwise it'll just flood the place. So that's about 60 odd % alcohol. That's not too bad. I mean, I'm guessing it's stronger than I would drink. But that's the sample coming out the pipe, not what is in the jug. No idea how strong that is. I diluted it down to about 40%, just guessing by adding water, and that's really nice. It's got a lot of citrus to it, a hell of a lot of citrus. But that's what the cloudiness is from the citrus. In there's no cloudiness. But that could also be from the tap water I just used to dilute it. But it's got the citrus in there. It's also got a lot of flavour. Now that 5 litres has been sat there now for about 2 months, stewing away quite nicely. So yeah, that's really nice. Bit of a gamble. At 1 hour and 10 minutes, I've turned the temperature up to 95 Celsius. That's a big jump from what I did have it on, which was I think 80 or 85. So that's a fairly big jump. Hang about, my pipe's moved. I'm just basically wedging the outflow pipe away from the inflow pipe. Otherwise you're just recycling this thing a little bit of water. At least this way I've got a big bathtub, and yeah, that seems to be working really well. Having that amount to start with. I probably used that much water beforehand because I was doing it recycling rather than just doing it fresh all the way through. It was constantly overheating. Whereas doing it like this, it's staying at a cool temperature. So much me having a bath. I will reuse the water, don't worry. I'm a hippie, I'm a cheap bastard. If nothing else, I'll use it to water my plants. So that's already going up pretty quick to 84. If I start to see, I don't want to put it up any higher than 95. Any higher than 95, I'm going to be getting water vapour coming out as opposed to alcohol vapour. One hour and 50 minutes. We have, is that 50%? Oh, you annoying kid. It's like getting a blowjob off a girlfriend, isn't it? Over 40%. Right, so that's about 45%. So it's still coming out at a good strength. I'm going to give it another, I mean, it's still running at 95 Celsius and it's 87.5 up there. And yeah, the water's coming out slightly warm, but the whole bath is actually cold. I'm not getting in that. 20, 30 years ago, yeah, now, no. So yeah, that is still coming out at a good strength. It smells nice. It has a really, really good smell to it. I mean, the amount of botanicals I put in there, I'm surprised it's not coming out green. So I'm going to fill that bottle easily. At the rate the strength is dropping, it might not continue to drop at the same rate, I don't know. But the rate is dropping. I reckon I could fill that demijohn, which is 5 litres. Up to this point, it's 4.5 litres a gallon, imperial measurement. That's why you get like a slight ridge there on demijohns. That's 4.5 litres. So, you know, a real gallon. So all the way up is pretty much 5 litres. So I'm going to fill it up to about there, if I remember. And that way I can actually dip it as well and check. I'm not drinking that, simply because I've already had a couple of samples and I'm getting a bit wobbly. And yeah, so I get 5 litres in that one. And then at that point, my other demijohn should tell me whether or not it's leaking. I don't think it is leaking, because that's still filled to the brim. I think all it is, I emptied it out into a couple of bottles and forgot. It's that simple. Because these glass demijohns, sometimes you'll get them for like £1 each. Sometimes, I mean, I've got those 2 antique screw neck ones, like 200 years old. They were free. Oh no, those were £1 each. These ones were free. I've got 6 of them. One was cracked, but the rest are perfect. So there's a custom living in an old country. Stuff like this you can get for nothing. Literally nothing. I sent a message to the supplier. Never really done it before on AliExpress, because it's generally just spam you get, you know, advertising stuff. But I actually sent a message saying the issues I've got with it, like the thing that was broken, the dent in it, and the wire pulled out. But thinking about it, that could have been done by customs, because they're trying to stop anything Chinese getting sold. Because they're controlled by the government, which is controlled by Jews, blah blah blah. So they wouldn't be surprised if it was customs that caused the damage, like yanking the wire out. But I got a message back from them, the supplier, saying, you know, send pictures of the damage. So it's nice to actually get an interaction. So I'm going to take pictures and send them off. Right, currently, we're up to 2 hours and 20 minutes. And that is pretty much 5 litres. I've extended my table. And it seems to be making a different noise, like a gurgly noise instead of the usual noise. That seems to be the same temperature all the bloody way up. So there's no way of actually telling, like by tapping it or by feel, how full it is. That's definitely coming out quite a rate. The temperature on the top pipe. See, now I'm actually using it, I understand what all these things mean. Because when you hear it on the internet, it doesn't mean anything. It means bugger all. Oh, the temperature on the top pipe, the water flow here. Basically, the more water you put in, the faster and the hotter you can run your still, because it condenses faster. Now the water coming out is warm. It's not hot, but it's coming out warm. Excuse me. So that is actually coming out warm now. The bath is a tepid. I'm not going to measure the temperature of the bath. It's tepid. But I want to measure the contents of my 5 litres. That is pretty much 5 litres. And I also want to measure, if I can measure this one without losing. Oh no, I haven't lost it. Okay. magnifying glass. Really awkward to see. Right, that looks like I can't bloody see. It's so difficult to get an accurate reading. 30 odd? I don't know, I can't tell. Because the glass is curved, I've got no way of knowing. Right, I think that is about 40%. I think. I need to get my syringe. It's not going to be small enough to fit down that spag, is it? Bollocks. What I need... No, it's not going to fit. Yeah. What I might have to do is siphon out some of it so I can test it properly. Ha! You didn't lose. I don't think. Because I think there's about... Where did I just dropped a cork? Hang on. Come on, cork. Cork. Not exactly a spacious bathroom. Where the hell did that go? It went near the toilet? It did. It's going to have to go and get sterilised because there's no way in hell is that going near my drink. So that's going to have to go and be sterilised. Fortunately, I have plenty of corks. Yeah. So I've got another cork to go in. Aha! So, yeah, I'll take some out of there in a bit. Somehow, I might siphon it out actually. Get a bit of a sucky pipe on the go. Just so I can get a more accurate reading of what the strength is. I'm pretty sure it's about 40. And what is currently coming out is, let's have a look, 30? Let's see, 30, 20, I haven't got a clue. 10? Fuck's sake. I really do need to get myself something a bit more blind person friendly. 20. Right, that's coming out at 20%. That and that and that. Basically, it's going to give me about 5 to 6 litres at 35%. But I need to test the contents of this demijohn for... See, it's not so much the quantity I want, it's the quality. That's what I'm after more than quantity. I've got plenty of quantity in the house. I've got 30 litres of stuff. Yes, that's how I clean my equipment. I suck it off.
What a gay man.
Yeah, that's got quite a nice kick to it as well. I'm blind! It has got a really nice flavour. So, when you get something, I can use to suck out some of this one. So I can put it into a container to test. I don't know if I've got a syringe thin enough to go down that spout. If I try and pour it, it's going to go everywhere. That's just the nature of the bloody beast with demijohns. Right, so look. Okay, I've got no syringes small enough. what I do have is a bit of plastic tubing. Because it's no way I can actually tell it's because of the curve on demijohn. Because when you get to the 5 litre mark, which is about there, you just can't tell. It's that simple. There's just no way to. It's just the way that the lines curve. Right. See if I can get this thing to work without pissing it everywhere. Oh, that tastes nice. Yes, definitely over 40%. It would help if I wasn't drinking the bloody stuff at the same time. But this ain't working because all I'm doing is drinking it. Don't it help? Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, let's not use the pipe. Inhaling fumes. Very nice. But, oh shit. Sorry, lungs. Oh, just enough to actually measure it. Right. That measures at 50. Right, that is 50%. Fuck-a-doodle. Yeah. God, quite nice. I'm glad I threw the pipe in the bath. It was too tempting to keep on sucking. But nice. Right, so that's 50% in there. If that's coming out at 20, I'm happy with that. I can leave that going for a bit longer. Because I don't want 50% to drink. Oh, that's nice. It's no bad juju, not 50%. But yeah, that's got a really good flavour to it. Really nice full flavour. So yeah, that is where I'm at the moment. So I've got 5 litres at 50%. Where's my cork? One of my unmodified ones, because normally I shave them down a bit. But that one, it's tight, but oh, excuse me, it fits. So that is 5 litres at 50%. That coming out at the moment is 20%. I think it was 20%. Top pipe is reading 90 degrees Celsius. I don't need that thing on all the time. So I'll turn that off. Yeah, it's got a nice afterburn to it. Then I did just basically snorse it. So yeah, trippy, trippy, trippy. I mean, I don't mind that if it goes down to an even lower percentage alcohol. I'm going to mix it together. But the actual end product is crystal clear, and my bad wrist. Forgetting, I got smashed wrist, hence the dodgy surgery scars. Oh crap. Yeah, I reckon from that batch, admittedly 5 litres of it was already 35% alcohol, but then you counterbalance that with the 10 litres from the plum wash and the 2 litres from 25 to 2% alcohol. That was from the last run. And 2 litres of water. So yeah, I should end up with 6 to 7 litres, I'm guessing, wildly guessing, 6 to 7 litres of 35% vodka. And it is really, really tasty. And very, very nice and clear. Yeah. Even though I have complained about this still, about the bits that are broken, it could be shoddy workmanship, but I don't believe that. I'm more inclined to believe customs fucked it than the supplier did a bad job putting it together. I can't believe they do other bits so well and then just leave the wires hanging out and smack it with a hammer on a piece of metal, or for one thing to be broken. It could have been them, but thinking about it, it's more likely to be customs fucking over. Because it's from China. Right, at 2 hours and 45 minutes, that's coming out and there's condensation, so that means there's steam coming out. So what I'm going to do is propose marriage to the still. If I can read this, I'm going to turn it down to 70. Right, phone keeps turning itself off, what a surprise. Right, I've turned that down to 70. Actually, sod it, I'm going to turn it off all the way. So that I can go off. Right, that is now off. Because I don't want to take out just water. It's now gone up to 91.9 Celsius, which means it's going to start, at that temperature, it's just going to start bringing out steam. So that's now off. And I'm just going to leave it as is. I'll leave the immersion pump. That can keep gurgling away. Am I going to get a bath out of this? That's not actually, it's not hot, but it's not cold. It's like tepid kind of temperature. So maybe next time if I fill the bath a few litres less than that, I could actually have a bath. I mean, I might actually wash my hair with that water. But yeah, that is no longer anything coming out at all. That drops really quick when you turn the heating off. I would have thought that would have kept going for a bit longer. Anyway, I'll turn it back on actually. I'll turn it back on and I'll put it on, where are we going to put it? What do you reckon? 50, 60? We'll leave it on 60. And I'll stick the pipe in here so I can measure what's coming out. I don't want to waste the alcohol because it was so much in there. Yeah, that's really started dripping out again. Right, I'm going to put the pipe into me thing so I can measure it. At 2 hours and 51 minutes, it's still coming out at 20%. So, I mean 20% plus 50% is 70%. Divided by 2 is 35%. Therefore, if this all comes out at 20%, all I've got to do is just mix it with what I've already got, and that gives me my magical 35%. Oh, yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the temperature not all the way down like it is. Oh, it's so difficult on my knees. I keep pushing the button to turn the torch on, and it won't let me, because it's a fucking American phone. And all they care about is using all the energy and all the RAM to upload my information. There we go. Right. So where the hell are we there? Right. See if I can zoom in. Will it let me zoom in? It's like some pensioner phone, temperamental thing, but it's only 3 months old. Right. And then it just turned itself off again, you piece of shit. Right, 70 is what I want, really. Right. That's about 70. Right, I'm going to leave it on 70. Yeah, because that should bring out a nice rate. Because where it was on 95, I think it was 90 or 95 I had on, I don't remember. 1995, it's coming out too quick because it's dropped down. I can't feel any difference on the tank in temperature. And you can't hear anything either because it's got insulation. You've got steel on both sides and this magical new type of foam in the middle. And it really works because it's not, it's hot, well it's warm, but it's not hot enough to burn you. Top, it's hot. I'm not going to bother touching the top pipe because that's at 92 degrees Celsius. But yeah, that can keep running for a bit longer, another 10 minutes. 3 hours seems to be the time to do it because it was about 3 hours the last time. But that was my first go. Right, at 3 hours and 23 minutes, I'm calling it quits. I'm down to about 10% alcohol. And I think it's between 5 and 10%. So by the time I mix that with what I've got, I don't want to go right down to the very last bit of alcohol, because that's running the risk of methanol. So I'm just going to have a quick look. Is that still coming out or not? I just literally just switched it off. As soon as you switch it off, it stops. That's weird. Because with the air still, it drips for ages. Right, yeah, that's it, done. I'm not going to bother running it any longer. So I've got 2 litres in there. I can mix that in with what I've got, and that should give me roughly 40%. I'll mess about with it in a bit. Right now, I've got food in the oven. Well, I am confused as hell because I've put it in between both bottles several times, pour it into there, pour it into there, pour it into there. The thing is, in this bottle, it's crystal clear. In this bottle, it's as crystal clear as an ice pack. And it's the same fluid. I just keep putting it in one bottle. Whenever it goes in that bottle, it goes cloudy. It's not the bottle is clear. This one is crystal clear. I mean, the bottle is stained brown from whatever the hell the last person who owned it put in there. But that's just weird. It's not the bottle is not frosted, it's a clear bottle. That's weird. Right, the end result of mixing these two together is bang on 40%. Funny how the phone not focused. Maybe these things are allergic to light because it always turns away from the fucking light. Yeah, it basically reads 40%. Take my fucking word for it. So I'm going to add, what have we got? 5, 6, 7 litres, 40%. If I add another half litre of water, not from the bath, if I add another half litre of water, give it a slosh, that should give me about 35%. As long as it's not over 40, I'm happy to drink it as is. But it tastes fucking lovely. There's still, I'm not even going to bother opening it or messing about with it anymore until tomorrow. It could have cooled down enough already to take apart, but I'm not going to. I'm not in a rush. So that can stay there. I'm going to come in for a piss at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll knock it over. I mean, I'll wait until tomorrow before taking it apart and giving it a swizz out. Oh, also, it is very easy to clean. I'm not talking about the stainless steel aspect, which makes it easy to clean. But putting it on the sink, opening that tap. If you open the tap one way, it automatically flicks back closed. If you turn it around and then pull it open, it stays open and it drains. When you get down to the last bit, give it a swish round inside, and that way you get the water, the dirty water coming out. By the time you get down to the bottom where your glass balls and things are, it's empty, it's clean. So yeah, so that means I should end up with 8 or 9 litres of 35% vodka.